It's a damn tough life through toil and strife we wellermen undergo. And we don't give a damn when the gale is done how hard the winds did blow. Rolling down to Maui, me boys rolling down to Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to Maui. Once more we sail through the northern gale, the ice and wind and rain. That, dear listeners, was a sample from the song Rollin' Down to Old Maui, a sea shanty. And that's basically what we're talking about. Salutations, I am Overseer JC, and welcome to episode 2.5 of the Outstay podcast. Trying to mix it up, do something interesting at the beginning of the episode. Now, this topic, sea shanty basics. Why the basics? But that's mainly because the history of sea shanties is as long and as vast as basically England itself. Like, it takes a long time to actually know the full story of sea shanties, even though most people get them from old veteran sailors, and folklorists, because that's how they survived throughout the years. Shanties uh, were traditional folk songs, but before then, they started as work songs. Um, the word shanty is really unknown to English translations, but it's like the origins of the term. But most people think that it started with the French chatter to sing, which makes sense. There are three ways people pronounce shanties. There's the way you spell it, shanties, with sh, chante, which there's a ch instead of an sh, and an e between the t and the y. And then shanty, which is just ch with the rest of the words. It was a rhythmic song, not normally sung with the uh, help of both music, marches, and just songs. It was basically made up to help people do their work, and it was mainly common on large ships for merchant sailing vessels. It was mainly prominent for the British, because that's where most sailing took place before America was even uh, discovered. And it didn't get the name shanty until the mid 19th century to restrict the genre of work music, because by that point, another type of work songs that basically sounded like it but were very different were the railroad songs. Started in the 18th century when everyone was going out west, uh, and doing the western expansion where railroads were being made to go out west. Um, Shanties were created so that it had the ability, unlike most songs, to be lengthened and shortened for circumstances and for jobs. Uh, but for some tasks, they did have minstrel music, popular marches, and then later on, land-based folk songs. Mainly because it went from work songs to telling their families to not be sad if they do not return. Because back then, sailing was the dangerous job. More dangerous than even soldiers. Because soldiers had a 50% chance of coming back during a war. Sailors, basically a 15% chance. Because the winds and the the water were unpredictable, and they didn't know what they would come across or if their ship can even handle the choppy waters of the ocean. It was normally sung by shantymen, uh, followed by a chorus of the other sailors talking. like, basically the shantymen would make up a verse, and then the choirmen would respond to that verse. Um, basically, um, to make it rhythmic so that they could do chores and work like weighing anchors and setting sail. Most well-known uh, songs based on that are Leave Her Johnny, Drunken Sailor, and what I just sung, Rolling Down to Old Marwee. It's not supposed to be sung with instruments, but it's supposed to be sung with a shantyman and the chorus sung by chorusmen, because they had to be very rhythmic. And basically, other songs came around, like The Wellerman, where it was introduced to music. But for Rolling Down Old Marwee, the melody of itself, they don't know the origins of the song, but they do know the melody itself is from the sea shanty of Miller of Dee, which basically was a shanty um, from, I think they said it was the 1800s. But basically, most songs were made up, but others were based on uh, like their own lives and how they missed their wife and kids. And basically, like I said, it survived because of veteran sailors and folklorists. And there actually is a interesting documentary that I was listening to that gave me the idea for this. That I will put down in the description. It doesn't go in depth as much as I would have liked it, but it's basically, like I said, going over more in depth of the basics of it. Like, from the transition from sailing ships to land lover music. Because once steam powered ships came, there was no longer any reason for um, the sea shanties to ever exist again because they never had to do the work again. And yeah, that's basically it. It's like I would go more in depth, but that would take hours for most of the other basic history of sea shanties. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Next week we should be back on our regular scheduled program of us idiots talking to each other. So this has been Overseer JC, and we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye bye.